Toys my kids won't play with, and why. This is Cat Stacks, and it comes with all these cute little cats and a bunch of puzzle cards. There are 4 dozen puzzles here, ranging from beginner to extra hard. Each one tells you which cats you need to complete the puzzle. If you've seen any of my videos, you know what a cat lover my daughter is. So this seemed like it would be a slam dunk for her, because she's also pretty good at puzzles. And I thought I was pretty good at puzzles, but this one was more challenging than I anticipated, even at the beginner level. Luckily, there are solution cards that can help you along if you get stuck. For this one, though, I was never going to complete it because I grabbed the wrong cat from the beginning. And I would say that's one of the points against it, because the colors on the card don't exactly match the real-life figures. Also, the gameplay is much different than I had thought it would be. When it said Cat Stacks, I thought it would be something like this, where you stack the pieces. I think that probably would have been a cooler version of the game. Also, does this look more like a rabbit than a cat to you? Maybe it's just me. Toys my kids won't play with, and why. This is a kinetic sand treasure chest. It starts off strong. You have to get this key from the shark. But I must not be the target audience because I really struggled to get this to work. But eventually I prevail and I open it up to see this pile of sand and a little pirate tool. As a concept, I'm really fascinated by kinetic sand. At times it almost moves like a liquid. Definitely don't have to worry about it drying out in the sun. I don't have to dig too long here before I find some other pirate treasures. Now, my kids have already opened this and played with it, so I'm kind of rediscovering things they've already discovered. I also no longer have the instructions, so I might be missing something. And it's not just the sand here that's sparkly. There's also these gems inside. It's about here I wish I had the instruction booklet, because I can tell that this is a false bottom, and I'm hoping there's more treasure under here. But alas, looks like my kids had already gotten to it. Now, I've talked about this before, and I personally hate kinetic sand. It's just a texture thing for me, and I guess my kids kind of feel the same way, because they haven't been back to play with this since the first time. Toys my kids won't play with, and why. We're in my son's room today to look at this egg. It didn't come from the Easter Bunny, and there is a surprise inside. Several, in fact. He's had this for a while, but probably couldn't even tell you what it is. But I can. It's from Ryan's World. Remember that kid on YouTube who played with toys with his parents? This came from some of their merch, and inside was a surprise character, this panda. I don't remember his name. I think there was something else in here, but it did come with this tattoo set as well. Now, the egg itself is pretty cool because it actually divides into these different compartments, but they're kind of hard to open. I remember when we got this, I had to help my son a lot, which takes some of the fun out of these surprise toys when mom and dad have to step in. My kids used to be all about Ryan and watching him play with toys, which kind of angered me because I was like, you have all these toys yourself. Nowadays, they still watch plenty of YouTube, just not Ryan. Instead, they're into watching other people play the video games that they already have. Toys my kids won't play with, and why. This is Snap Circuits. It's more of a STEM activity than a toy, but since this is the arcade version, we're going to count it. Now, the box says ages 8 to 108, but this all looks pretty daunting for an 8-year-old. Still, let's start at the beginning with Project 1. The name Snap Circuits comes from the fact that each of these pieces has snaps, like you might find on a bag or maybe a button-down jacket. The metal also helps conduct the electricity. Feeling pretty proud of myself that I got Project 1 right off the bat. So let's jump ahead to the arcade scene on the box. Things start off nice just like the first time, but I quickly realize I'm out of my element here. The instructions are not as simple to read as they first appear, and I make quite a few mistakes at first, figuring out which pieces go on which layer. There's also these wire pieces that help connect some of the more fun elements. Okay, I've triple checked all the instructions. Let's see if it works. Alright, a fan moved, a light came on. Not sure that this is really arcade though. I could go back and read the instructions again, but I'm just gonna poke around at some things and see what they do. Again, not getting much of an arcade vibe here, but then there we go. When my son first got this, he was eager to sit down with his dad and put it together. But as you expect, his dad did most of the work. So maybe a few more years before we tackle any of these other projects.